Hi there, welcome back. Today I want to talk a little bit about a wonderful person that helped me after my experience, and that was someone I would refer to as a soul guide for sure. There are no coincidences along this path, as I've mentioned. This is all predestined, it's all pre-mapped out, and the effect that happens when we don't believe that is we have thoughts that we need to be doing something. We have these thoughts that there's some path and we need to be working towards something. Sometimes what happens when we're in that mindset is we're so busy thinking that we're supposed to be thinking to do something that we're missing what's already happening and in the now. I had said to my partner I had reached a stage where sharing with him was not so much fun anymore. He would listen and be excited for the journey for me, but he couldn't relate to any of it and didn't know what I was supposed to do with all the information that was coming through, nor should he have. That wasn't his role. I said, I'm ready to meet someone who gets me. And as it always is, the universe is ready to respond. I had taken my son to school one morning, and as I was walking to get in my car, another woman that I knew very vaguely as an acquaintance on the island came up to me and she said, I heard what happened. Now, people on our island didn't know anything about this. They knew about my depression and what had caused some other events to happen, but they did not know about this. And so I just kind of stood there unsure of what she was referring to. And at that stage she said, if you need anything, just ask. And in the way she said it, it was like I knew I could trust her. So I'd never really known this woman. She was an acquaintance. And I said to her, I killed myself. I have these psychic things going on now and I don't know what to do with it. I just trusted to say that to her. And she reached in her bag and she pulled out a card and she said, call her. And the woman's card simply said, Layla, Shamantic Worker. I went home. I couldn't get home fast enough to call her. I was desperate to be able to talk to someone about what was going on with me at this stage. And left a message and waited and waited and waited. It took several hours as she was with other people at the time. But she called me back and I explained what had happened and she said, come over. So I did. I got in my car and I rushed right over. She had a beautiful little office that she saw clients in that was like an old train car behind her house that had been gutted out, and she had carpet put in there and throw pillows everywhere and just all these beautiful things in the middle of this wooded area. It was wonderful. Just to go down the little pathway to get to her was beautiful. Birds and everything all around. And I was nervous because I'd never gone to see anyone like this before. And I walked in and my energy was, I need to know. And she picked up on that right away. And she said, let's start with an exercise to calm you down. And she took me on a grounding journey with drums, and I laid back on the pillows and she calmed me down, and I just trusted her implicitly. There was a kindness in her eyes and a knowing that this is all mapped out. She took me on this journey and she told me that I wasn't alone and to reach for and feel who was with me. I didn't really know what she meant by that, and I wasn't trying to do anything, and the next thing I know, I'm in this beautiful gray wooded area and I'm reaching with my hand and I feel fur. And she says, grab on. And I did. Wasn't really paying attention to what I had grabbed on to, was just going on the journey, kind of bodiless and yet with form, and following the beat of the drum. She took me several places, and it's far too long to detail in one video, so I won't even attempt to, and much of it is quite personal. Much of it goes into detail around the molestation with my grandfather at 3, She believed that part of my soul had left my soul and split, as she referred to it. I don't know about any of that, and it doesn't matter. It was beautiful. It was ceremonial. It was calming to me at that stage. She took me on a path among these birch trees to relocate the little part of my soul that had broken away. And I enjoyed all of it. It was all beautiful, and it calmed me and it grounded me, and that's what I needed. But what it did most for me was begin me on the path of connecting with my guides. So as we slowly came back from this guided journey that she took me on, things came more into view, and I realized that I had been holding on to and led by a wolf. This wolf was my animal totem at that time, and he was someone I adored. Whether it's made up in my mind or real, it doesn't matter. It was beautiful, and it was what I needed at that time. Very real to me. I could touch him, I could be with him, I could feel his licks on my face. He soothed me, he calmed me, and he made me feel so at peace with everything that was going on. And I knew that as genteel as he was with me, that if I needed him to be strength for something, he would be that. I had many sessions with Layla over the coming weeks, many of which she gave to me for free. I've carried that forward in my own work. I've made sure that I balance the clients that I see and that those who can't afford it are taken care of. I know that as this continues to grow, I may not be able to do the balance that I've done to date, but that's what I hope for. Layla was a breathtaking, loving guide for me in a time where I felt a little confused around all of this. And what I discovered with her was I could do anything with this. The path is mapped out. So the thought that I needed to make something happen was where my fear was coming in, that I need to go somewhere and do something with this. And she reminded me I could do anything with this. It will show me what's to be done. Just like these patches of videos that I'm doing now. I could believe that there's some person named Kelly who's sitting down and under some endeavor to get these done for some path or purpose, yet this is all mapped out. I'm just a passenger in the seat, going along. The videos are just happening. The body is just logging in. The camera is just being turned on. The speaking is just happening. People have written to me and said, you speak like a public speaker, you speak fluently, and you must do this often. And I said, no, it's because I'm out of my way in this. I'm just letting what's coming through come through and trusting it implicitly. It has nothing to do with me. What Layla signifies for me and signifies for my life is a kind soul guide, someone that comes through our path right at the right time in the right way, and may only say a few things that resonate, but you feel the tremendous amount of love, and you know that you're meant to be there. You're right where you're supposed to be. It's happening now, so embrace it. I could have laid in that room and resisted everything she said. When she told me to lay down on the floor and snuggle in the pillows, I could have been like, I don't know you, lady. When she told me to close my eyes and go with the drum, I could have resisted that. And the Kelly before this experience probably would have. I probably would have thought, you new age freak, and gotten up and left. But who would have missed out in that? The guidance comes. It just shows up. The teacher arrives. They just show up. The thought that the teacher needs to look like a Buddha, or the thought that the teacher needs to look like a Zen master, is just conditioning. Our teachers show up in so many ways. They may be a bumblebee. They may be a flick of dust on a table. Who knows? Every experience is a teacher and a student. I refer back to the infinity symbol. We are both the teacher and the student, and it is a never-ending eternal loop. If I ever get in my head and think that I am a teacher, and that's all that I am, then I am stuck. We are both always a teacher and a student in all ways. Layla was a gift. She was a teacher. She was a friend. She was a soul guide. She was someone that reached a kind hand out and offered a loving heart, and I accepted fully. She was there for me through this time. She understood me. She embraced me in this. And when the time was right, she just set me out like a little bird on the tip of her hand, and she said, "Fly. You don't need me anymore." And that's what I've tried to do with my clients. If I find someone's coming back to me religiously for information or religiously for help, then I know it's become a religion. I know that it's become doctrine, and I know that they've stopped trusting themselves. If we in our paths are not helping other people to find their own toolbox, then we are doing them no favors. When I hear of counselors that see clients for years and years and years, it makes me feel sad inside. It really does. We all have what we need inside. Sometimes we need a friendly reminder to help us dig there to find it. Even I have those experiences where I reach out. Of course I do. I'm a student here too. If I lose sight in that, then I'm missing something. I'm so in my story, digging and working, that I'm missing what's here and what's now. It doesn't mean that the teachings and the gurus that are out there are bad. Their teachings are beautiful. It just means don't be so caught up reading them and watching them that you're missing the teacher in front of you now. I hope that's helped. I definitely wanted to give Layla credit and really thank her in a way that only this could have done. So whether anyone else watches it or not doesn't matter. I just am so grateful for her and everything that she did during that time. She's a beautiful soul. She's on a tiny little island in New Zealand, and she does amazing work. And I love you, Layla. Okay, signing off for today. Much love to all.